Are you ready for a shocking revelation about what might be disappearing from your grocery stores? With the world facing growing challenges like climate change, supply chain breakdowns, and rising global shortages, the food industry is taking a major hit. Some items you've always taken for granted could soon vanish from the shelves entirely. You might not even know which products are at risk until it's too late. That's why in today's video, we're breaking it all down for you. We've put together a list of 12 grocery products that may become almost impossible to find as early as next month. Don't get caught unprepared. This is your chance to stay informed and stay ahead. Watch until the end and make sure your pantry is stocked up before these items disappear forever. Number 12, olive oil. Olive oil, a kitchen staple for many households, is now facing an uncertain future, and the reasons might surprise you. This liquid gold, primarily produced in the Mediterranean region, is under threat due to severe environmental and economic challenges. Did you know that around 70% of the world's olive oil comes from countries like Spain, Italy, and Greece? Unfortunately, these regions are being battered by extreme and unpredictable weather. Prolonged droughts and relentless heat waves have caused olive yields to plummet, with Spain, the largest global producer, seeing a staggering drop of over 50% in some areas. But that's not all. The rising temperatures have also made olive trees more vulnerable to pests, like the destructive olive fruit fly, which thrives in warmer climates. To make matters worse, diseases like the deadly Xylella fastidiosa have swept through olive groves, further devastating crops. These combined factors are taking a toll not just on the quantity of olives produced, but also on the quality of the oil itself. The result? A dramatic increase in olive oil prices, with some regions reporting spikes as high as 40%. For consumers, this means that your favorite olive oil might soon be harder to find and much more expensive. If current trends persist, olive oil could become a rare luxury item rather than a pantry staple. This could be the start of a significant shakeup in how we view and use this beloved ingredient. Could you imagine cooking without it? If you see olive oil on your store shelves, now might be the time to stock up before it's gone, potentially for good. Number 11, canned tuna. Have you noticed fewer cans of tuna on the shelves lately? Canned tuna is facing a perfect storm of problems that could make it much harder to find in the near future. Overfishing has taken a massive toll on tuna populations, with species like bluefin and yellowfin being hit the hardest. Despite efforts to regulate fishing and impose quotas, the illegal fishing trade, coupled with skyrocketing global demand, continues to push these fish closer to the brink. But that's not all. Climate change is throwing another wrench into the mix. Warmer oceans are disrupting tuna migration routes and breeding patterns, which makes it increasingly challenging for fishermen to catch them in their usual waters. Plus, tuna depend on smaller fish for food, and shifts in marine ecosystems are threatening this delicate food chain. Fewer prey means fewer tuna, plain and simple. Then there's the manufacturing side of things. Did you know the shortage of aluminum, a key material used to make those trusty cans, is making production more expensive and slower? Combine that with rising transportation and supply chain costs, and the cans that do make it to stores are becoming pricier and less available. If canned tuna is a staple in your pantry, now might be the time to stock up, because this once abundant grocery item could soon become a rarity. Tuna lovers, take note. This kitchen favorite might go the way of the dodo sooner than you think. Number 10, tomato-based products. Tomato-based products like canned tomatoes, pasta sauces, and everyone's favorite condiment, ketchup, could soon become much harder to find on store shelves. These kitchen staples are facing a perfect storm of challenges, leading to shortages and rising prices that could leave shoppers frustrated. One of the biggest culprits here is the weather. Let's talk about California, one of the world's largest tomato-growing regions. Record-breaking droughts and intense heat waves have been hammering the area, and that's really bad news for tomatoes. These fruits need consistent water and mild temperatures to grow just right. When the weather doesn't cooperate, harvests shrink, leaving farmers with smaller yields and sometimes lower quality tomatoes. Fewer tomatoes mean fewer products, and that impacts all of us at grocery stores. But it's not just the weather throwing a wrench in the system. The rising costs of farming essentials are making it nearly impossible for growers to maintain operations affordably. Fertilizers, fuel, labor, you name it, prices are skyrocketing. With farmers paying more to grow tomatoes, those increased expenses are ultimately passed down to you, the consumer. And the headaches don't stop there. Global supply chain issues, such as shipping delays, and even packaging shortages are slowing down the entire production process. The end result? Fewer tomato-based products are hitting store shelves. Demand for items like marinara sauce and ketchup isn't dropping anytime soon, but with supply being this tight, prices will likely keep climbing. If you rely on tomato-based products, now might be the time to stock up, because they could be disappearing faster than you think. Number 9. Ronzoni Pastina. At number 9, we have Ronzoni Pastina, an iconic and much-loved Italian-American pantry staple that has sadly been discontinued, and fans are not happy about it. This tiny, star-shaped pasta had a special place in the hearts of many households, particularly for parents, kids, and anyone looking for a bowl of comforting nostalgia. Known for its simple yet versatile uses, pastina was often the go-to ingredient for cozy soups and creamy dishes that felt like a warm hug on a cold day. Whether it was for a sick day remedy or a quick, delightful meal, pastina had a charm of its own. Why did Ronzoni decide to pull the plug on this beloved product? Surprisingly, it wasn't because people stopped buying it. The demand for pastina was still strong, but the issue lay in supply chain challenges. Unfortunately, Ronzoni's long-standing supplier of this uniquely star-shaped pasta could no longer produce it. After an extensive search, the company struggled to find another supplier that met the high-quality standards they were committed to, forcing them to make the heartbreaking decision to discontinue it entirely. The internet, of course, erupted. Loyal fans took to social media, flooded online petitions, and some even rushed to store shelves to stockpile the remaining boxes. Meanwhile, others turned to online marketplaces, where prices for pastina have now skyrocketed due to its sudden scarcity. Despite the backlash and growing outcry, Ronzoni has confirmed that they have no current plans to bring this cherished product back, leaving many wondering what will happen to their favorite comforting recipes in the future. If you see a box, grab it while you still can. This pantry favorite won't be around after next month. Number 8. Chocolate. Imagine walking down the candy aisle, ready to grab your favorite chocolate bar, only to find empty shelves or prices that make you think twice. That's the reality we might face soon. The chocolate industry is wrestling with some serious challenges, and the root of it lies in cocoa production. Did you know that over 60% of the world's cocoa comes from West Africa? Countries like Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire are cocoa powerhouses, but these regions are feeling the heat, quite literally. Climate change is throwing everything off balance with unpredictable rainfall, extended dry spells, and scorching temperatures, making it harder for cocoa farms to thrive. But that's not all. Diseases like black pod and pests, such as the cocoa swollen shoot virus, are plaguing crops, cutting into what should have been a thriving harvest. Add to that the fact that cocoa farming is incredibly labor-intensive, and fewer young people are sticking around in rural areas to take it on. Many are moving to the cities in search of other opportunities, leaving farms understaffed and operations struggling. And here's the kicker. While all this is happening, the global love for chocolate is skyrocketing, especially in growing markets. The result? A widening gap between how much cocoa we have and how much the world wants. This demand-supply imbalance is driving cocoa bean prices through the roof, making chocolate one of those splurge items. If trends continue, chocolate as we know it may soon become a rare treat. Next time you enjoy that creamy, rich chocolate bar, savor it. You might not see it as often in the future. Number 7. Peanut butter. Peanut butter lovers, brace yourselves! The production of this beloved pantry staple is facing some major challenges, and it might soon become harder and pricier to find your favorite jar on grocery shelves. The climate crisis is hitting peanut farming hard, particularly in the United States, which is one of the top peanut-producing regions. Peanuts need consistent water to thrive, but states like Georgia and Alabama have been grappling with severe droughts and unpredictable rainfall. This chaotic weather is causing peanut yields to drop, putting a strain on the entire supply chain. But that's not all. Water shortages aren't the only issue. Farmers are also battling skyrocketing costs for key resources like fertilizers, fuel, and labor. The expense of agricultural inputs continues to rise, making peanut farming more challenging than ever before. Combined with frequent supply chain disruptions, these hurdles are driving up the overall cost of peanut butter production in ways we've never seen before. Some manufacturers have even had to stop production temporarily because they can't source enough high-quality peanuts. And remember, demand for peanut butter isn't slowing. Consumers in Western markets in particular crave it more than ever. That strong demand, paired with limited supply, has already caused prices to surge, And if things don't improve soon, affordable peanut butter could become a thing of the past. It's not just a snack spread. It's a reminder of how global issues are reshaping what ends up in our shopping carts. Stock up while you can. Number 6, wheat products. Wheat products are a staple in many households around the world, but recent global events and environmental challenges suggest that some of your favorite wheat-based products may become harder to find very soon. From bread and pasta to breakfast cereals, these everyday essentials are facing unprecedented threats to their production and supply chains. One of the biggest culprits behind this looming crisis? Climate change. Prolonged droughts and extreme weather conditions have taken a serious toll on wheat crops across the globe. Key wheat-producing regions like the United States, Canada, and parts of Europe have seen their harvests impacted by erratic weather patterns. For example, in 2023, severe droughts in the U.S. Midwest drastically reduced wheat output, which sent ripples through the global supply chain and led to skyrocketing prices. But that's not all. Geopolitical instability is playing a massive role in the wheat industry's struggles. Did you know that Ukraine and Russia together produce almost a third of the world's wheat exports? With the ongoing war in Ukraine blocking critical export routes, the global supply of wheat has tightened dramatically. This has resulted in significant shortages and price surges that are now being felt at grocery stores worldwide. And if that wasn't enough, rising costs of key agricultural inputs like fertilizers and fuel are making it more expensive than ever for farmers to grow and transport wheat. Many farmers are struggling to keep their operations profitable, and some may even be forced to produce less wheat in the future. This unfortunate combination of factors could lead to a noticeable decline in the availability of wheat-based products like pasta, bread, and flour at your local grocery store. The higher prices and tightening supply don't just inconvenience consumers, they also raise concerns about food security, especially in countries that rely heavily on wheat imports. If these trends continue, you might want to stock up on your favorite wheat products now because they could be much harder to find or a lot more expensive after next month. Number 5. Salmon. Attention all salmon lovers. You might want to savor every bite because salmon could soon become a rarity on grocery store shelves. The beloved fish, particularly from the Pacific Northwest and Alaska, is swimming in troubled waters, literally. Warming ocean temperatures fueled by climate change are throwing off the delicate balance of their ecosystems. Chinook and sockeye salmon, for instance, are struggling to adapt as their natural habitats are disrupted. These warming waters interfere with spawning cycles and reduce access to the cold, oxygen-rich waters that salmon need to thrive. And that's not all. On top of temperature issues, severe droughts, especially in places like California, are drying up critical rivers where salmon return to lay their eggs. Without these spawning grounds, their populations take yet another hit. Overfishing adds to the chaos, with some species being overharvested to the brink. The situation has become so dire that fishing bans have been implemented in certain areas, including California. But wait, there's more. Pollution is also wreaking havoc. Industrial runoff and agricultural waste find their way into rivers and streams, degrading salmon habitats even further. All these challenges combined result in fewer fish making it to our stores and higher prices for the ones that do. If this trend continues, salmon could transform from a common dinner table protein into an expensive luxury item. If you're a fan of grilled salmon or sushi rolls, stock up while you can, because this iconic fish may soon become a thing of the past. Number 4. Rice. Rice, a staple food for more than half of the world's population, might just be one of the grocery items we'll see disappearing from our shelves, and the reasons why are downright alarming. This versatile grain is facing a tidal wave of challenges that threaten its production, availability, and affordability. At the heart of the problem is climate change, which is wreaking havoc on rice cultivation in major growing regions. Intense weather fluctuations, such as severe droughts in Australia and unpredictable rains in Southeast Asia and India, are hammering rice yields like never before. These weather extremes lead to lower production, causing global prices to skyrocket. But that's not all. Rice farming requires an enormous amount of water. With freshwater resources drying up faster than you can cook a pot of rice, farmers are struggling to maintain traditional growing methods. Water scarcity is pushing the industry into uncharted territory, as it experiments with growing less water-dependent rice varieties. But these innovations are far from reaching mass production. Pair this with geopolitical chaos. such as export bans from leading suppliers like India, and you've got a recipe for shortages in the international rice market. For many countries that depend on rice imports, this is leading to a food crisis, with millions facing insecurity. If these issues aren't addressed quickly, rice as we know it may become a luxury item rather than a daily staple. It's time to appreciate this humble grain while it's still widely available, because once it's gone, it may not be coming back anytime soon. Number 3, Maple Cheerios. Maple Cheerios, a beloved seasonal classic in the Cheerios lineup, has left countless fans heartbroken after being discontinued. Known for its rich, sweet, and comforting maple flavor, this cereal was a go-to breakfast option during the cozy fall and winter months. It evoked memories of autumn leaves, warm fires, and indulgent maple treats, creating a loyal following among cereal enthusiasts. But, much to the dismay of its fans, General Mills, the creator of Cheerios, decided to pull the plug on this delicious variant. Why? Like many companies, General Mills is adapting to changing times. With shifting consumer trends and a need to streamline production, brands often focus on their top-performing products, leaving niche and seasonal items behind. Additionally, rising costs for ingredients and production have led to tough decisions in the cereal world. While Maple Cheerios had a devoted fan base, its seasonal appeal and limited sales window made it vulnerable. The news of its discontinuation triggered an outcry on social media, with fans rallying for its return. Many shared their nostalgia, favorite recipes using Maple Cheerios, and even tips on how to savor the dwindling supply. Unfortunately, it seems General Mills has no plans to bring this flavor back anytime soon, making any remaining boxes on store shelves a treasure for collectors or die-hard fans. If you're a fan of seasonal favorites like Maple Cheerios, you might want to grab a box if you can still find one, because after next month, this iconic fall cereal might just disappear forever. Number 2, Avocado Oil. Avocado oil has become a superstar in kitchens around the world, lauded for its health benefits, buttery flavor, and versatility in recipes. However, this beloved oil might not be as easy to find in the near future. Why? The production of avocados, and in turn avocado oil, has hit some serious roadblocks that could make this product a rarity on store shelves. For starters, avocado trees are notoriously thirsty. They require a significant amount of water to thrive, but many of the main regions producing avocados, like Mexico and California, are facing prolonged droughts and water shortages. With water resources dwindling, farmers are now paying much higher costs to sustain their crops, driving up the price of avocado oil. These issues are becoming worse year by year as climate change introduces new challenges. Heat waves, unpredictable weather, and erratic rainfall are all wreaking havoc on the avocado harvest. Smaller harvests mean less fruit available for oil production, while the fruit that does survive may not meet the quality standards needed for cold-pressed oils. To make matters even more complicated, the demand for avocados is increasing exponentially. Health-conscious consumers and fans of plant-based fats are snapping up avocados and avocado oil faster than farms can produce them. This imbalance between supply and demand has created a perfect storm, making avocado oil not only more expensive, but potentially disappearing from store shelves altogether. If you love cooking with avocado oil, now might be the time to stock up before it becomes a rarity. 1. Sriracha sauce, the spicy staple in jeopardy. If you're a fan of the fiery kick of sriracha, brace yourself, because your favorite hot sauce might be harder to find than gold soon. This legendary condiment, made by Hefong Foods, has become a pantry icon across the globe, but its future is hanging by a thread. Why? It all comes down to one critical ingredient: red jalapeno chili peppers. Severe droughts in Mexico, where these peppers are grown, have wreaked havoc on production. With scorching temperatures and little rain, pepper crops have shrunk in both size and quality, creating a devastating ripple effect across the entire supply chain. But it doesn't stop there. Beyond the environmental crisis, labor shortages and logistical challenges have made it even harder to keep sriracha production flowing. This means Hefong had no choice but to repeatedly halt the production of their beloved sauce, leaving store shelves emptier than a popcorn bucket after movie night. The result? Sky-high demand but little to no supply. For die-hard fans, this shortage has sparked a frenzy. Some are scrambling to stock up, while others are turning to online resellers who are charging outrageous prices for a single bottle. Meanwhile, many have started experimenting with other hot sauce brands, hoping to find a new spicy companion. But let's be honest, nothing quite hits the same as sriracha. If this shortage continues, the spicy flavored future of your meals could look very different. Could this really be the beginning of the end for sriracha? Only time will tell. As we've seen, the grocery world is constantly changing, with beloved products disappearing due to shifting consumer trends, production challenges, and environmental factors. While it's hard to say goodbye to these favorites, it's a reminder to cherish the items we love while they're still available. Whether it's stocking up on your go-to snacks or seeking alternatives, adapting is key in a landscape where nothing stays the same for long. If any of these products are your must-haves, now is the time to grab them before they're gone forever.